Now, this is some shocking news coming in from Afghanistan in the light of recent evacuations, 2 explosions in Kabul. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, as your reporter was just alluding to there, it was expected, not only from intelligence reports that have been disseminated over the last few days, stating that there will be an attack, that an attack is very likely at Kabul Airport. But also, it just makes sense from a terrorist perspective that they would conduct an attack like this, because it would seem to undermine the efforts of not only the US, UK, and other military evacuation operations that are ongoing right now, but also, obviously, the security provided by the Taliban. The Kabul airport, certainly the civilian side, is protected by the Taliban. And the outer cordon of the military side of the airport in Kabul is also protected by the Taliban. And so, it would make sense from another organisation, another terrorist point of view, to disrupt and cause carnage, because it undermines this security provided by the Taliban.
Right. Now, this attack comes right after there was a grave and specific ISIS-K terror threat that was reported, which was targeting crowds around the airport and the US Embassy in Kabul. So is this a sign of more attacks to come? Quite
likely. The aim of terrorism is to terrorize and to disrupt. And so, without really good security governance, any country is subject to terror attacks. And, you can imagine right now the Taliban were very quick to roll into Kabul. I mean, certainly across Afghanistan, but certainly into Kabul. They perhaps hadn't expected to control security in such high amount of governance so quickly. And so you could well imagine that there is a big many security gaps. And terrorist organizations will be looking to exploit those gaps. They'll do it today. They may possibly do more in the coming days and looking ahead. Until those gaps, are covered, the security in the governments is fully covered by the incumbent governors, which in Afghanistan now is the Taliban.
More such attacks in the future now that the withdrawal deadline is fast approaching, August 31st, and several European countries have already ended their evacuation efforts.
Yes, I think we certainly can. I think we can expect more attacks within Afghanistan, and then potentially in other countries. Let's not forget that, perhaps this move by the Taliban being able to take over Afghanistan, to govern Afghanistan, will be seen by many to be. It's basically they've defeated the Americans. It will be seen that they've defeated the Americans. One of the biggest superpowers, or the biggest superpower we've got. So that's going to embolden many other organisations, including terrorist organisations. So not just within Afghanistan, but I would suspect we will likely see more terrorist attacks globally.
Right. Now, do you also expect or anticipate a change in the US strategy towards Afghanistan? Will Joe Biden be implored to delay the deadline of August 31st in the light of this attack?
Yeah, certainly. It sort of justifies their security concerns, which they've been quite loud to voice over the last few days, that they expected an attack, that they need to pull out quickly and stick to that deadline of the 31st. Of course, that's the US. Other countries like the UK have said, no, we need more time to efficiently evacuate everybody that we'd like to evacuate. But the US have been quite hard-nosed on that out date. And certainly this terror attack will play into that, and will empower the US voice to say that, no, we absolutely will stick to the deadline of the 31st.
Right, Joel, thank you so much for joining us on WION with all those inputs. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.